Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Vivid Collectibles. My name is Danny, and tonight I'm going to bring you my review and thoughts on Sideshow's brand new Fastball Special statue. This one that you're looking at is the 1/5 scale statue that comes with the comic book backdrop, and currently I'm displaying it as it would be if you just got the premium format, which is a 1/4 scale statue. This statue and the 1/4 scale one are currently waitlisted on Sideshow. These were sculpted by Will Harbottle, designed by Ian McDonald, and painted by Casey Love, and of course worked on by the rest of the Sideshow development team. And they did a really good job. When this was announced, or at least teased, people looked at it, and as usual, we kind of say, hey, I wish it was 1/4 scale rather than statue form. And I guess Sideshow's been listening lately, because they released this, and of course the 1/5 scale statue form and premium format. So how do you decide between which to get? Obviously it depends on your collection. Now, I've been collecting for a little while, so the older I get, the more and more I collect, the less and less I care about size in terms of, do I want bigger, 1/3, 1/4, or statue? If I like it, I'm generally just going to buy it. Of course, the bigger the statue, generally speaking, the better the detail, but they seem to do such a good job today that it almost doesn't matter as much anymore. But again, if you have 1/4 scale and you want to match that up, I completely understand that, because that's what I was going to go with, because I'm primarily a 1/4 scale collector. But the statue version came with a comic book backdrop, that famous comic book, the Fastball Special, that this statue is from, and I really like that option. Plus I have the option of displaying it without that backdrop. Now, the only downside to that is when I want to display it without the backdrop, I have to basically disassemble the whole statue to then reassemble it this way, or vice versa. So while I have this running in the statue version, I'm going to go over the characters and the base. Now, he's on a sentinel head that's burning down, and I guess Colossus is basically getting ready to throw him into another giant sentinel head in order to destroy them. So this is actually a pretty decent sized statue for a 1/5 scale, and that of course has a lot to do with the fact that Colossus himself is massive. So while he's not quite as big as a 1/4 scale piece, he's pretty big for a 1/5, because again, he's a big character. Now, Wolverine is typically pretty diminutive, so he is pretty small here, just like he is in the Hulk versus Wolverine statue. He may look a little bigger here because he's more stretched out, but nonetheless, the details are great. The portraits are a standout. So let's go to this spinning turntable and start with that sentinel base. All right, so we have the fireballs, right? And they're nicely painted. You see all the different shades of, oranges to like lighter yellows, nice black shading all the way around it. So that looks pretty good. These key in individually, and there are some seams if you want to look for them, but there's so much going on in this statue that you're not generally going to look for the seams. But you can see where Wolverine's done some damage on this sentinel. That really nice metallic purple, all the damage on the sentinel head. Again, scratches, and it's been in a battle, and it's really the worst for wear. But look at the nice nicks and the paint job. It looks great. The sculpt's awesome. These wires that have been cut off on the neck look like real wires. I don't think they're sculpted. I think they are actual wires. And again, more of that Wolverine claws, the sentinel eye. A lot of really nice detail on this base. It's pretty big. I want to say it's like maybe 15 inches deep, the base itself. This statue is about 18 inches tall, and I believe, I want to say like 10 to 12 inches wide. But again, look at that base, all the nice detail and damage on the base itself. The sentinel teeth, the nose, it's dented up. It's been in a battle, and clearly this one has lost the battle. So as we continue to move up, we're going to focus on Colossus's boots. Now, these are leather boots, and they're sculpted that way. You see the nice textures and the dirt and grime all over these boots, with a nice decal right there, the nice designs above the top of the boot. Again, you can see where it's leather, it's worn, they're dirty. Very nice job. And I like all the folds of the natural leather. You see the great muscle definition and even the tendons that you see throughout. Again, very nicely sculpted and painted. They look grimy, which is great. And then moving up on Colossus, again, more that great muscle definition that they do such a good job with. And they went with almost like a semi-gloss matte to matte silver. And I like the shine of it. It's kind of metallic, but it looks good on that organic metal finish for Colossus. His undies, right? That nice bright red, more that great stretchy look for them. Very nicely sculpted and painted. The belt's done really well. More like gold trim. That looks really good. He's got gold trimming on the top of the boots, in the middle of the belt, and also on the gauntlets. More like great muscle definition and nice paint shading to really, really make that muscle pop. Again, very nice job. Look at the back of that V-shape costume. That mustard yellow with more of that beautiful bright red. Again, more of that great muscle definition and that shading to go along with it to really, really make it stand out. Obviously, we know Colossus is massive and really fit. And this statue really does a good job of portraying that. Big pecs. Very nice job. And then you have that hand stretched out that he's using for aiming. That looks fantastic. Some of that nice texture work. Again, it's sculpted really, really nicely. The gauntlets with that light red to dark red. And then it meets that gold at the end. And then his right hand catapulting or getting ready to throw Wolverine. That looks awesome. His portrait is done really well. The eyes are whited out, so they remind me of Danielle Bell's premium format Colossus, where they went with a white for the eyes. So for his hair, they didn't go with a matte black. They went with a shiny gloss black, and it looks good. It's very nicely done. It does stand out pretty well. Colossus himself is done very nicely. He doesn't have any seams. Let me give you a close-up. It looks good. I think the chin may be a little bit on the big side, but again, those expressions that he really conveys, they do a really good job. Again, for a 1/5 scale statue, a lot of great detail went into sculpting Colossus and painting it. As for Wolverine, let's start with, look at the treads on the back of that boot, nice and dirty. Great detail on the leather boots. You can see the nice folds. Again, more of that muscle definition. The top of the boots are flared out. They kind of match the mask as well. He's like almost like a lighter yellow. And again, that nice shading, that great muscle definition on him as well. Again, he's a smaller character, but he packs a punch in terms of detail. Look at how nice the folds are on the outfit. The colors are really, really nice. They're kind of a little bit muted, but they work really well. That red belt, almost like a burgundy with the X sign right there on Wolvie. And then those tiger stripes look fantastic. Again, the muscle definition is there. Wolverine's kind of a stocky guy. He's sort of, he's getting ready to attack, so he looks wider than he normally would be. But I do have to agree with Jem. He's a little bit more slender than you typically see him. The claws are plastic, but they're done really well. His gauntlets and gloves, again, great leather work. Very nicely done. It shows a little bit of grime as well. The battle damage on the shoulder pads looks awesome. His portrait's done amazing for a 1/5 scale. The teeth are glossy, looks really good. All that great definition. You can see the hair detail throughout. I think they went a little light with that. They probably could have done a little better job with that. It's kind of very subtle. It's there, but I think they could have done a better job with that. So we're going to take a look at his portrait, and you can see the blue shading around the eyes and the whited eyes, but the teeth are nice and glossy, and that tongue is glistening as well. So he looks very much alive, and of course, he's Wolverine, so he's in rage, but it looks absolutely amazing. Now, I would have liked to maybe have gotten the premium format, but I thought that with the statue version, not only do I get the backdrop, but I get to display without it if I chose to or if I didn't have the room. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch it to show you what it looks like with the comic book backdrop. Okay, so here we have the full version with the comic book on. As you can see, it really changes the feel and the look on this statue. However, it is a lot of work to put together and take apart, but it's worth it as it really makes this statue into something special. No pun intended. But you see all the little graphics that detail what's about to happen. Some of that comic book style writing. The yellowish pages, which is what the old school comic books look like. The graphics on the comic book itself. Really beautiful. I think this elevates this piece to another level. Not that the bigger version isn't great in its own right. For me personally, I just felt that this comic book backdrop really adds to this piece, and there's the reason I went with this. But again, I don't think you can go wrong. If you're a quarter scale collector, you'll be happy. If you're a 1/5 scale collector, you'll be happy. Shoot, for me, I'm a quarter scale, but I mix it, and I'm very happy. But again, look at that. More of the backdrop, more of the graphics. I like that Sideshow offered both options, and I understand why they did not offer it in the quarter scale. They wanted to differentiate the two and give you a reason to buy one or the other. But I do like the option to do both. Like I mentioned before, for a quarter scale, for a 1/5 scale statue, it's got a decent size to it. Then you add this backdrop, it becomes pretty heavy, but it looks good. Some of the negatives are, I think, disassembling it and assembling it are a little bit of a chore. But it's pretty nifty engineering on this, where Wolverine keys into Colossus' right hand. Colossus is holding that boot, and that's where Wolverine keys into. And then all of the little fire effects on the base, they got to be put in a certain order. Thank God Sideshow does their out of the box videos that are very helpful. But it looks great. I think that they did a really good job. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know how you feel about it in the comments. I'm going to leave you guys with some shots of the box, which I thought was a standout. And let me know what you guys think. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching. Until next time.